So Kanye gets suspended from Instagram. Jussie gets out of jail. And let's talk about some sector news. All right, let's get into it.
It's Black Lounge Entertainment, and the time is right with T-Pre.
I hope everybody is doing as great as me today. Shout out to all of you, all of my new subs, all of the new members, everybody that is in the building. I really appreciate all of the support that I've been getting from all of you lately. And I really, really thank you for that. Okay. I'm trying to think of something really special to do for my members because I really, really appreciate these guys. Okay. So I am looking up some different things that I wanted to do and coming up with some creative things, and I will be doing some wonderful things for you guys because I really, really appreciate all of the support and all of the love that I have gotten on the channel. um, Today we're going to talk about Kanye, we're going to talk about Jussie, and we're also going to talk about binary code and what happened last night on D Darrell. Okay, so let's start with Kanye. Now, Kanye, according to news sources, has been suspended from Instagram, and the reason why is because of some threat that he had made. And yeah, I really think that's a good thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Kanye has needs some time to himself. I think he needs to be off of social media because I think that social media actually fuels him to behave the way he does. Now, I'm not saying that he, you know, without social media, he wouldn't behave this way. But I really think that social media has a lot to do with why he's still fueling this behavior. Or I think that the social media actually fuels his behavior. Okay. So Kanye is going to, he's going to be off of social media for a while. And let's see what happens with that. I mean, I really hope that he really gets the help that he needs, to be honest with you, because Kanye really, really needs help. He hasn't been the same since his grandparents died. His grandparents actually lived in Wilmington, Delaware. He was at the funeral. It was on the east side of Wilmington. They lived on, I think they lived on Pine Street, or they lived on the one over Kirkwood Street. I can't remember which one it was. Either way, his grandparents did live over there, and the church was on Pine Street, so the funeral was on Pine Street, and Kanye was at the funeral. I'll never forget that. I remember being around there, um, and that he made a song about it, about paparazzi taking pictures at the funeral. Please no photos or something. And yeah, he was really upset about people like being outside and all that stuff, but he hasn't been the same since his grandparents died. Okay. And then once that happened, his mother died maybe like a couple years later, or like a year later or something like that. Um, and it was funny because the grandparents, it was like the grandmom had died like on a Friday or something. And then the grandfather turned around and died like a couple days later. So Kanye has been through a lot, okay, like a whole lot of shit. And these are people that really loved him. And I think he never recovered from that. Okay. And that's a shame because Black people, in general, we tend to not want to get counseling or get support, at the time, because we feel like that's a sign of weakness. We've been told that it's a sign of weakness to tell what's happening to you and talk about what's happening to you. You know what I mean? As children and within various households, and so based off of religion and other things. So people are Kanye is the same. He's not any different. He really needs to seek help. Now I know that they're saying that he has sought help, but I don't know how effective that help has been. And I think that he needs to do a little bit of exploring to find out, whether or not he can find a doctor that would suit him. Okay. Because, like I said, he has not been the same since first. And a lot of people think it's his mom, but he hasn't been the same since his grandparents died. And like I said, they are from Wilmington, Delaware, and he buried them in Wilmington, and he had their funeral in Wilmington. So, That was really bad. That was really sad. And I remember the change in Kanye at that point. And then, then his mother died. And then after that, he really hasn't been the same. So yeah, I hope that Kanye really, really seeks that help. I hope that the people in his life will stop taunting him, will stop, mistreating him, and will go ahead and let him get the help that he needs. And Kim, she knows that. She knew he's had these issues from the rip. Okay. This isn't something that she just found out after she had 4 kids by him. Okay. She did that on purpose. She wanted to have those kids so she can have a security. And then she left him after that. I think she did try. I'm not going to say she didn't love him and she didn't try, but yeah, I guess she did all that she could, but she's not so innocent either, because she definitely knew about his behavior way before she had 4 kids by him. Okay. So anyway, that it is what it is, but I do hope he gets his life together. Let's talk a little bit about Jussie real quick, and then we'll get into this binary nigga. Um, so Jussie got released from jail. Yeah, he's out of jail. And I'll say this. I'm glad he's out. Okay. It's not because, I wanted justice, quote unquote, for Jussie, because I could care less about any justice for that nigga. But I will say this, as an empath, as an empathetic individual, I will say, hey, I don't think he would have survived in there. Okay. I don't think he's the type that that needs to be sitting in jail. And not that anybody really should be sitting in jail, because I don't think anybody should. Well, I'm not gonna say anybody. There are definitely people that should be in jail. But I have a hard time with black men being in jail for petty crimes. Okay, for stupid things. Yeah, I didn't feel sorry for him going to jail. I'm be honest with you, because I feel like what he did really set our people backwards, or at least attempted to. He could have used so many different, options of different people that this actually happened to. You understand what I'm saying? Before he, um, just lied and lied to Chicago police, and everything else. Like, he didn't have to lie about it. There's actually situations like this that really do happen. And he could have used all that money, his platform and so forth, to push that agenda. Instead, he pushed a lie. You understand? And he expected us to all feel sorry for him and justice for him. And I'm like, he didn't get the point. You understand? Like, he really did not get the point of how this was wrong. This was not something he should have been doing. And so, but hopefully now he really understands, that this is not a joke. Black people really are um, disproportionately killed by police and by, white people in various situations. We really do go through various racial issues with people, and even, gay people experience, various things. He could have used so many different actual situations to push and press the issue, and he just decided to use the system to make some bullshit up. And I think that was fucked up. So, I didn't feel sorry for him, but at the same time, I don't want to see him in jail for like 5 months. I really do think, it was harsh. I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me, y'all. I'm drinking my water. It's yeah, it was harsh. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, I really think that the judge was trying to get his point across, and I think he did a damn good job of doing that. So, hopefully Jussie will get his life together. Hopefully he won't be, out here with the bullshit, and we'll see. But yeah, I really hope he gets his life together, and I hope that he has learned from this. But I don't, for some reason, I don't think that Jussie has. I really think that Jussie is a diva type bitch. He wants things his way. And I don't think he really understands the full context of the wrong that he did in this situation. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Let me go ahead and read a couple of comments before I actually get into this binary conversation. Hey, JJ, shout out to you. I appreciate you being a member still. And you said it's not over. He just appealed the sentencing. Oh, okay. Okay. So he's appealed the sentencing. You said he's out on $150,000 bond. Oh, okay. So he is out on a $150,000 bond. Okay. Good morning, Humble King. I appreciate you being in the building. Shout out to you. You said he is gay. He is gay. He definitely would. You say he's gay. He definitely would have survived. All right, Humble King. Good morning, S. White. I appreciate you being in the building. You said morning, Black Lounge Entertainment and Humble King. And then you said, no, he thinks he's some kind of icon. Well, I mean, he is an icon, you know. I think he was my favorite character on Empire when I was watching the show. I had only watched it for maybe 2 or 3 of the seasons, and then I finally just stopped watching it because it was just over the top and it was just stupid. And I just felt like the producers, like the writers of the show, were trying to take the show in some really over the top, like circus like direction, and it was just really stupid. And finally I just stopped watching it. But he was my favorite character, so he was okay. I didn't have no problem with him. It's just I got mad at him over this, you know what I'm saying? And I was disgusted with it. I'm particularly disgusted, and I'll say exactly why. Okay. Um and I didn't say this before, but one of my shout out to one of my subscribers who actually wrote this on in a message in one of my videos. Um, he said exactly what I wanted to say, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's several demographics of people who will try to use the black race to push their agenda. Okay. Um, Including the gay demographic. Okay, they have used that and kind of latched on to the coattails of the black movement. Okay, so they'll use the gay agenda. Will use the black movement, and anything that black people do to advance black people. They will get out and say, yeah, fight for black people, but then it'll turn into, well, fight for gay black people or fight for gay transgenders or, or whatever, fight for black transgenders or whatever the case may be. And it'll end up turning into a situation about gay people or about transgenders, and then the whole black situation just gets pushed off the table. Okay, this seems to happen all the time, and it's not just with gays and transgenders. It's with every single demographic. They will latch on to the black movement, whatever the black movement is at that moment. Like, for instance, when George Floyd was killed and the Black Lives Matter movement came up, which I have a whole lot of shit to say about that. But when the Black Lives Matter movement came up, all these demographics of people wanted to hop on that train, okay, including the gay agenda, okay? They hopped on that train with the fight Black Lives, protect Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden it became about gay Black Lives Matter. And then it became about, well, transgender Black Lives Matter. And then the entire situation about Black Lives Matter went out the window. It now became about gay lives matter and transgender lives matter. And that was it. Okay? This happens all the time. And we are not going to pretend that it doesn't. Okay? I'm tired of every time Black people come for something to protect ourselves, to put something in place to protect our community. Every other community wants to jump on the bandwagon, and then they want to push our agenda out the way so that they can get help for their agenda. Happens all the time. And I do believe that Jussie intended to do that. He wanted to make this about gays. It had nothing to do with blacks. He wanted to say it was blacks, but he wanted to make it blacks and gays. Do you understand? Stop it. Have your agenda. If you want to push your agenda, that's fine. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But you got to stop pushing the black agenda out. You got to stop, clouding the black agenda. And that has been happening over and over and over again, several times over. And Jussie is no different. And I'm going to say it. I'll be honest with it. So, hopefully he'll get it together, but I don't know. I hope he learns his lesson. I don't think he did. But I really hope he learns at some point, that this was dead ass wrong. Okay. And, he's got to stop doing that, and others got to stop doing that too. Yes, Samba Queen. And shout out for being a member. I really appreciate you too. You said many different groups use our plight to advance their own issues. Meanwhile, we get forgotten. Exactly. It happens all the time. All the time. And I'm really tired of, other demographics just pushing us off the table so that they can get done what they need to get done. And Jussie was no different. He was definitely trying to do that. So that's why I don't feel sorry for him. All right. Let's get into this binary code thing real quick. I'm going to play a little bit of music for you guys while I do that, because I need to go downstairs real quick. So let me play a little bit of music and we'll go ahead and talk about binary. All right. So I watched D Darrell's channel last night. Shout out to D Darrell. All of us tend to run our channel and our show the way that we choose, and that's fine. We don't. There's no YouTube police that's out here that can tell people who they can have on their show or who they can't. Okay. So Binary was on the show last night, and he was going in on knockout media. Okay. And shout out to Knockout too. I'm cool with him. I don't have no beef with that guy. He's funny. I joke around and troll a little bit, but actually I like him. I watch his channel. I think he's cool. Hey, sometimes. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. I hope he's cool. And I kind of feel sorry for the guy, because I've heard about him having some kind of mental situations going on. I don't know that for real, and I don't know him, so I'm not going to speak on that. What I am going to say, though, is if that is the case, it doesn't look good on the part of older men to be roasting, quote unquote, or going in, quote unquote, on this man, considering this man is like 20 something. Okay. I mean, I think he's like 25, or He's no older than 26. Him and Shakim are around the same age. So if they were going back and forth with each other, that would be one thing. But it's another thing for, grown ass, almost 50 plus year old men to be going back and forth with this man. Okay. I mean, for what? I'm not saying that, you have to stop doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying, but I don't really understand what the end game is. And I don't understand what the importance is, of going back and forth with this young guy. Okay. I mean, it's not a good look. I'll be honest with you. It's not a good look. Okay. But ultimately speaking, I was super, super disappointed in the show. And it's not because of, like I said, it's not because I have a problem with Darrell. It's literally because of who was on the show. Okay. There could have been so many other choices of people who could have went in on Knockout Media. You understand what I'm saying? Why Binary was chosen, I'm confused. And then, to go as far as saying that he is just not a predator, and also considering that you have said that you work in this field, okay, you work in psychiatry or psychology. I'm confused how you feel like he's not a predator, or you've made that diagnosis, that he's not a predator. I don't understand that. Predator and let me look, I want to look up the definition because I looked it up last night, and shout out to Carrie Ann because she had a show last night about this, and I looked up the definition and I put it up there, and I'm going to look it up again because I want to be clear about what the word predator means. Okay. And how you come to the conclusion that a person is a predator or not. Okay. And it's important to be, real about what predator means. And, is it, is it wrong to call someone a predator if they're not, an actual predator? So a predator is a person or group that ruthlessly exploits others. A website such as a website frequented by sexual predators. Okay, so it's a person or a group that ruthlessly exploits others. Okay, so Binary has been known in this sector since he came into the sector to exploit Black women. Okay, he has been extremely disrespectful to Black women. I'm going to name about 3 or 4 things if I can remember everything. So one thing that Binary started off with was just trolling, back and forth. And then he got on the D Darrell situation and with the Asian hate thing. Then he went to the 3 Asian women that he claimed was quantum research. And these 3 Asian women were to tell 200 some Black women how Black women behave and why Black women go through what they go through. Okay. And we were supposed to sit and listen to 3 Asian women tell us why we deal with what we deal with. And I made a video about that. It's called The Strong Black Woman. And then he went on and made a song about Nay the Great. Okay, he made a video calling her a big fat cow and all this other stuff. And he had all this stuff to say about Nay. And then he went in about the children being bait. Then he went in on anti-Afro Svengali and not that I like her, but he went in on this Black woman talking about her being an ape and her being a big lip black this. And then he stopped talking, out loud, and he started talking through Stargate. And every time Stargate opens her mouth, to say something that he wants to say, it's big black bitch, black bitch, black bitch, bickety black, all kinds of shit. Okay. Binary has spent over a year exploiting Black women and Black people. Okay. He is a predator. I don't care how anybody puts this. I don't care who likes him. I don't care who wants to fuck Stargate. Okay. I don't care about none of that stuff. We got to stop pretending, okay, in order to appease and please people. We have to stop doing that. Okay, I need people who are mature, okay? I need professional people to stop this bullshit. It makes you look bad. It really makes you look bad. Okay. Um, and again, I'm not saying that, we have to be in our professional environment here on YouTube. Okay. Or we have to be our professional selves here on YouTube. But it's not even about being the professional self, okay? It's literally about morals. It's literally about, you know, what do you allow in your space, okay? If this was your daughter and this happened to your daughter, would you be okay with this? Would you say he's not a predator then? You understand what I'm saying? Because I understand D. Durrell has two daughters, okay? And I'm pretty sure you would not have the same response if this man was touching your daughters unwittingly. Okay. I'm pretty sure you would not clinically say, well, clinically speaking, and well, by law, no, I know you wouldn't say that. I know you would knock this nigga the fuck out. Okay. And it's not because you would say, well, it was just wrong. No, you would call him what he is, which is a predator. Okay. That is what it is. I don't understand why we have to pretend with this man, why we have to sit and act with this man, and we have to, oh, poor Binary, I want him to feel good, and I only want him to feel good because I don't want Stargate mad at me. Who the fuck is that bitch? Like, niggas need to really upgrade the bitches that they really want and the bitches that they care about and the bitches that they trying to up. You understand what I'm saying? Because why are you trying to make this bitch feel good? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Number one, you're married, so you don't have to care about this bitch any fucking way. Okay. Number two, the man is a fucking predator. I'm sorry. And you know what? And like I said, Darrell, I don't have no problem with you. I don't have no beef with you. You've always supported me and I've always supported you. But I need you to be honest about this. And I don't understand why you are willing to just overlook all this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for us to look at you as a professional therapist, and then you're sitting here saying in the same sentence, nah, he's not a predator. And we know you're only doing that because you want to protect Stargate's feelings. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it, Darrell. I don't get it at all. Because it's ridiculous. And maybe you're not doing that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the reason why. Okay. And I don't want to start any kind of narrative, but that's the way it appears. Because first of all, you didn't even like Binary. Okay. Like, you were just like us. You did not like Binary. I don't know what made you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get on Team Binary Code. But you didn't even like him. Like, as a matter of fact, you were one of the first people not to like him. Okay. Because I remember him trying to come at you over the Asian hate bullshit. Okay. I remember that. Everybody remembers that. So I'm not really sure how y'all got, cool with each other all of a sudden. I don't know if it's over the church sector situation or what the case may be. I think you guys have kind of aligned based off of that. But I don't think they really fucking with him like that over there either. I know that he was on Conscious TV the other day talking about if his 29-year-old daughter got touched. No, he said if a 29-year-old woman was touched by a 19-year-old at a party, and she felt like she was abused, he would blame the woman and blame her parents for how they raised her. That's what this man said. Yeah, he said that on Conscious TV the other day at about an hour and 10 minutes in. Binary said that if he, and I want y'all to go ahead and look that up. Binary said that if a 29-year-old woman was touched by a 19-year-old at a party unwittingly, he would blame the woman and he would blame her parents for how they raised her. That's what Binary said. But this is the guy that you say is not a predator. Okay. Like, I don't understand how you sat back over a year and watched this man disrespect almost every black woman in the sector. and disrespect black men in the sector. But you know what? The black men is y'all. That's between y'all. It's the women for me. Okay. You watch this man disrespect almost every black woman in the sector. You've watched this man talk about groping women, doing all kinds of crazy exploitive stuff to black women. And you're okay with that. Yes, you did, whistleblower. You did tell me. You're okay with that. And I don't understand how you think that he's not a predator. I don't get it. I really am looking forward to your presentation. Yes, sometimes you said, Darrell said he would explain in a presentation. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, me too. I don't want him to break down binary, though. I'd want him to break down sexual predators. I want him to break down how that goes. You understand what I'm saying? And not from the perspective of binary, because if he does it from the perspective of binary, then to me it's going to come off like he's being biased. You understand what I'm saying? I would rather him talk about sexual exploitation, talk about how it's diagnosed, how it's treated, and how they come to an understanding of it. Yeah, I'd like to hear his expert opinion on that, but not his expert opinion on binary, because binary's not his patient. You understand what I'm saying? He's never actually seen binary, never treated binary. He does not know binary's past. He only heard this story. Okay. And he came up with he's not a predator based off of one story he heard. I don't understand how you could do that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that too, Darrell. And hearing your side of this, because again, this is not a shot at you, but I definitely don't understand as a professional. That's like me being a professional loan officer, okay, which I am. I'm a professional loan officer. And me being a professional loan officer and I got fucked up credit. You understand what I'm saying? Or me being a professional loan officer and, I just understand, like, as a financial advisor and as a financial professional, it would look really, really silly of me to have like a simple checking account and no other accounts, or you know what I mean, no investments or nothing, but yet I'm a financial professional. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I'm not saying that you have to be a professional here on YouTube all the time. I'm just saying it does not make sense at all that you would diagnose this man on YouTube and say, "Oh, he's not a predator. He's not a predator." And you're just saying this, and like I said, it just sounds like you trying to please Stargate, because she the only one that gets mad when somebody calls him a predator. Okay, so I don't understand. But I'm looking forward to that, Darrell. Shakim, you said it was convenient for Darrell to side with binary at that moment since he wanted to go in on keep KOM. Shit, you would have been a better choice on that one. You would have been a better choice on that one. I mean, I understand, but we don't need each. That's the thing. Like, I don't understand why guys in this sector feel like they all need to pile up together and to fight somebody. You're like, and I'm not saying all the guys in the sector do that, but there's a couple of y'all that be doing that. Y'all always feel like y'all need to pile on top of each other to talk shit to the next nigga. That shit is so childish, for real. That conversation was really childish, because all binary kept saying was, spell this and spell that. And can you spell? And you are lame. You are lame. You are lame. I was like, well, spell predator. Spell predator. How about that? Like, anyway. Guys, you said this is no shot at Darrell, but remember, there are parents that have sexually abused their own children. Exactly. Like, what do you mean? Like, how do you come up with somebody not being a predator just off of YouTube conversation? I'm confused about that. And again, like I said, it just sounds to me like you trying to make Stargate happy. And this bitch is like, for what? She's a low life bitch. Like, why? If anybody, you would want somebody that's actually got their shit together. Like, please. Sometimes you said D. Darrell said it's not abuse because he claims the women suffered no damage. What? How does he know that? Like, how do you come to that conclusion that these women suffered no damage? You don't know these women. You have never diagnosed these women. You've never had a conversation with these women. You've never talked to these women. You only heard what Binary said, and you believe him. All of a sudden, you believe him. But when he was going in on you about the Asian hate, that was a problem. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, you said I can't with these guys. Yeah, I can't either. What's up, Clark? Clark, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Sometimes you said D. Durrell said those women gave consent, and Binary was just trying to hook up. And again, how do you know that? And where in that video did you hear that them women gave consent? Because what I heard in the video was the woman smacking his hand off of them. Another woman stood up in the middle of the party and gave a record scratch moment and was talking about her kids and her husband and everything else. Like, how was that consent? Where did you get consent from? I am so looking forward to you answering that question. Like, I really, really want to hear where consent came in. And that's very dangerous for a therapist to be blurring lines of consent. Okay? Like, you literally blurred the lines of whether this is okay. Okay? Like, that's scary. That's very scary. And you might take that wrong or take that whatever way you want to. But I really need you to be paying attention to the things that you're saying, okay? Because you're actually saying, like, you're sitting here and you're blurring the lines about what consent is. Yes is yes and no is no, okay? Sometimes not saying anything does not mean yes, okay? Not saying anything could mean fear, okay? Not saying anything could mean shock, okay? And I know you know this as a therapist. So I don't understand, again, where you got consent from, how these women consented to this. Where's that coming from? Because nowhere in that video did he mention that. He actually mentioned how much they didn't consent to it, okay? He went back after the fact and said he slept with two of the women. He went back after the fact and said that, okay? After he knew he had to clean up that bullshit. He went back after the fact and said, oh yeah, they were sleeping with me and I was messing with them. And yeah, he said that after, okay? But before that, none of that was mentioned. The only thing he mentioned was him coming to his wife the next day, his ex-wife the next day, while they were riding to her parents' house and saying, oh yeah, by the way, I may have, accidentally rubbed up against or hugged on, a couple of your friends. Okay. And I just wanted, to make sure, that you kind of talk to them to make sure that they don't think anything. You understand what I'm saying? He said, blame it on the alcohol and all kinds of stuff. So as a therapist, I don't understand how you don't think that's predatory behavior. There was so many different things he did within that one story that was predatory. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So, and you don't have to be a therapist to see that. You don't have to be a therapist to understand that. But for some reason, you feel like, you need to pretend that none of that is true. Thank you, Couch Potato. I appreciate that. That super chat. Thank you. I'm trying to highlight it, but it's not letting me highlight it. I'm in StreamYard. But I appreciate that. Oh, here it is. Shout out to you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let me go through some of these comments here because there's a lot of comments here. But yeah, I was pretty moved by that conversation and him saying that, these women were just Binary was just trying to hook up with these women. No, he was taking advantage of them. You said, yeah, but he said that he would do an explanation. You said, grope, Josephine. Hey, Josephine, I appreciate you being here and being a member. You said grope is defined as feeling or searching blindly or uncertainly with the hands. Exactly. Durrell is a known quantity. I never understand why anyone is surprised by what he says or does. I don't know. I've supported Darrell a lot, and he supported me too, and I still support him. I just feel like, this is crazy. This is over the top. You know what I mean? We got to stop pretending that that nigga's not a predator. We got to stop. And yes, you did tell me. And good morning to you too, whistleblower. JJ, you said, but Darrell himself has disrespected a bunch of the women in the sector with his sexual harassment music and whatnot. Uh, that's very true, actually. I can't deny that. So I guess, hey. And then you said propane, you said this sector always on go. You said I want Darrell to explain how is exactly. As you said, that makes me want to throw up. Yeah, me too. Like, it's just disgusting. You said he needs to stop trying to use his credentials when it's convenient. He doesn't want people to look at him as a professional counselor when he's on YouTube, but he uses his credentials to say binary isn't a predator. Yeah. And that's true. I mean, I can't deny that hasn't happened. And you're right, Shakan. You have said, Darrell, that you want to, not be the professional Darrell on YouTube. Well, if that's the case, then do that all the way around the board. Okay, please stop trying to diagnose binary and say that he's not a predator based off of what your clinical experience is and based off of this and pick a side. Okay, like, do you want us to treat you like a therapist or do you want us to treat you like a YouTuber? You understand what I'm saying? And again, like I said, if you're going to use your professional licenses and your professional credentials for YouTube material, that's fine. But please don't diagnose this man because you don't know him. You don't know him. You don't know him. I guarantee he's never been to either one of your offices. I guarantee he's never seen any of your therapists, any of your clinicians. Okay. So please stop diagnosing this man. I need you to do that. Hey, Living Life, one of my favorite loungers. I hope you're doing well today. Speak easy. What's happening, bro? I appreciate you being in the building. Shakim was saying hi to Eyes, and Eyes said hey to Shakim. Clark said, how does he treat his patients? Rhetorical. As I said before, I would hate to be one of his patients. Sorry. Yeah, I would honestly be concerned at this point about bringing my children or myself to speak with Darrell in regards to sex abuse or anything like that. I would be very concerned. Because I'd wonder if he'd be willing to protect the predator as opposed to protecting me. It says, never fuck with that dude. No loyalty changes allowed. Exactly. Yeah. And good morning, TMK. I appreciate you being here, being one of my loyal members. Sharkham, you said, Clark ditto. Eyes, you said, I bet you Binary would not talk that shit in real life to the men I know. Honey, he wouldn't talk that shit to the women I know. Binary wouldn't be in my face talking that shit to me. Nah, he wouldn't. He not that nigga. Living Life, you said, Shakim Ra, you was on forum with Smoke. JJ, you said you will never get Darrell to admit anything. It's a waste of time. Yeah. Well, I don't care if he admits something or not. I'm still gonna speak on it. You understand what I'm saying? Me talking about this is not to get him to admit a damn thing. I can say what it is that he's doing, and everybody else can see it. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't care whether he admits it or not. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, he's gonna hear it. Joe said, I would have broken the man's hand. Exactly, me too. I would have smacked the shit out that nigga right there. He would have got his ass whooped at that party for sure, in front of his wife. And Shakim Ra said, living life to the fullest. I stay ready. LOL. Now he want to fight. Living life. You said Binary didn't say he got consent, did he? Exactly. He never said in that video, oh yeah, these women consented. Everything was cool. He went after the fact and he kept talking about it and trying to clean it up after the fact and say, oh, well, these women were 30. These women were this. These women were that. They consented. He put all that in the story after the fact. Okay. Shout out to JJ because he still has the video up. Clark, you said, oh, you said at Shakem Propane put up some laughies. And yep, I appreciate you, Couch Potato, for the $10 super chat. Living Life, you said, Shakem, do you? He was triggered. Clark said, Miss T. Pre, he was still married at the time, so it was his wife. Yeah, he was married to the ex-wife at the time. Eyes, you said, so what if you at holiday work party and you're drinking and your coworker brushes up against you and touches your thighs or behind? Human resources and police report expeditiously. Exactly. Like, what are you talking about? I wish my motherfucking boss would come up and touch me on the small of my back or touch me on my thigh. I'll smack the shit out that nigga first. And then I'm contacting the people, okay? You got me chopped. You got me fucked up if you think these niggas can just put their hands on people and me not saying anything or me giving you a look is consent. It's a therapist saying this? Wow, that's scary. And then on top of that, you're saying that you treat these type of people. You're not you don't specialize in it, but you treat these type of people. And you've dealt with the worst of the worst. You've seen the worst of these. So if you've seen the worst of these, how the hell do you think this isn't predatory? I don't understand. I am very, very confused how a therapist thinks this isn't predatory. It's scary. It's very, very scary. I'm concerned for your patients. I'm really very concerned at this point. JJ you said, thing is, consent is a semi-false issue. It allows binary to skip over the joyful and prideful way he told the story and what that indicates about him now. Consent is about the past. Yeah, he never got consent in the first place. Like, there's no consent in the first place. He never had it. He never even asked for it. He had no intentions of asking for it. He didn't care whether they consented. He had in his mind his own options on what options he had to go in and touch these women. There was no consent. There was no, reaching out to them and making sure they were comfortable or okay. He literally just did whatever the fuck he wanted to. I don't understand how a therapist thinks that's not predatory. You said, good point, Shakem. Good morning. Let me see your transcript. I appreciate you being in the building. Which one is it? Right. Gotta pick a side today. And let me see your transcript. Says hey to everybody in the chat. Shakemi said, please stop diagnosing this man. Amen. Exactly. Like, I need you to stop diagnosing him because you're a therapist. Like, you want everybody to just, oh, well, D. Durrell's a therapist, so he says he's not, so we're going to just go with that. Like, what? Like, you ain't never treated him. You never went through that clinical process with him, asking him those series of questions or going through a series of analysis with him over a extended period of time to come up with that diagnosis. I don't get it. Please let us know. Living Life says hello to everybody. LA Rams, hello. Good morning. Shakem, you said he uses his credentials experience as if he's seen every kind of predator. That's not even his specialty or his main area of counseling. Exactly. I thought he was a family therapist or something like that. Now, I know that he has several credentials. I do think that he has a specific credential in regards to sex abuse and being able to treat that. I'm not 100% sure about it, but I know that he's not a specialty, a specialist in that. So, yeah, I don't understand how he could diagnose him and say he's not a predator. Like, you just said that. And again, I really feel like you're saying that because you want to fuck Stargate. Let's keep it a B. Or you want to keep fucking her if you haven't fucked her already. And you want her to oh yeah, Darrell, yeah. You want her to be all on your good side. So you don't want to get on her bad side. And so you want to keep saying, you're going to just say whatever. Hey, Flacco, you said it can be predatory, but I think where people lose the argument is when they go past that and start calling him a sick sexual predator. That behavior 20 years wouldn't quite indicate him of being that. Okay, so let's talk about that, Flacco. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? Because if somebody was a predator 20 years ago, are you saying that they wouldn't be a predator now? I don't understand. So you're telling me that if somebody was a predator 20 years ago, and now if they've grown up and they've, become a professional in certain things, that negates any type of predatory behavior they've done in the past. A predator is a predator. Without proper treatment, without proper diagnosis of such, they remain a predator. Okay. If you break your bone, okay, and you never get it treated, you never get it reset, or anything like that, that bone will never fully heal. Okay, that bone will remain in that broken state. It will remain, and it's not going to stay eventually the cells will eventually recapture themselves. They will try to regrow, but it's not going to grow properly because it wasn't set properly. Okay. So you have to you have to be diagnosed, properly diagnosed, and you have to be treated. Okay. And there's no conversation about treatment. There's no conversation about anything like that. And 20 years later, he's still showing predatory behavior. Okay. So I'm not quite sure what you mean about calling him a sick sexual predator. What was he? Please tell me what he was, because touching a woman on the small of her back, touching a woman on her thighs, okay, that is sexual advances, okay? Those are sexual advances. I don't know why or where you're getting that or blurring the lines with that, okay? But again, we have to stop trying to blur lines and trying to make everybody feel good because we like somebody, okay? Or because we're trying to be on some team, some made up fake ass YouTube team, okay? At the end of the day, sexual predatory behavior is just that. We are not going to pretend that that's not what's happening. Now, you said it can be predatory, but I think where people lose the argument is when they go past predatory and start calling him a sick sexual predator. Please tell me the differences. Please explain the differences, Flacco. Okay, because predator, no matter what type of predator it is a predator. Okay, and the fact that he was putting his hands on these women without their consent, okay, places that he was doing. He's not like he touched them on their shoulder, or he touched them on their forehead, or he touched them on their hand. He touched them in places that he wanted to touch. He touched them in places as sexual advances. So therefore, it is sexual predatory behavior. I don't understand. Help me understand that. What you think is the difference? Because you like him, or because you think Stargate is cute. You said he wanted to trigger those women. He was pursuing the record scratch moment. Exactly. Binary likes to trigger women. He likes to get a trigger from you and then say, see, look how these black women act. Look how they behave. Look how they're doing. Look how they don't listen. They don't this. They don't that. They're always this. And even the way that he responded to how the record scratch happened. He said the way he was mimicking how that woman was talking. I just want to say, like the way he was talking, he thinks this is how black women talk. Okay, he thinks this is how every time he mimics a black woman, he talks a certain way. Okay, and then when he goes through Stargate, it's a bunch of black bitches and a bunch of this and low life black bitches and all this other stuff. That's the shit he want to say. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Living Life. You said 33 in the house, hit the like, fam. I appreciate y'all all being in the building. Speakeasy, you said Terry Crews went all the way to Congress when the same thing happened to him, but I guess it wasn't predatory or an assault. Exactly, right? Nappy said, I'll admit I didn't hear the whole thing. Was the admission of Glendon Cameron type bad? And why do dudes keep getting the urge to give cringeworthy stories like this on social media. Word. Like, if he didn't want us to feel like he was a predator, he should not have told us that story. I've said that several times. Several times I've said that. Let me see your transcript. You said, Nappy Yankee, you haven't heard the whole thing? Very cringeworthy. Yeah. Yeah, we going in today, Couch Potato. Cause we're not going to be lying to these niggas. I don't know what's going on in the chat though. JJ, you said when you reminisce about the past with joy and nostalgia in your voice and on your face, you are asserting that who you are today. Exactly. When you look back with shame, it comes out that way. Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? He looked back at it and he was shameful himself. That's why he kept trying to clean that shit up. You understand what I'm saying? Because he knew it was wrong. He knew he was dead wrong. Hey, Divine Seven, I appreciate you being in the building. Shout out to you today, and good afternoon to you. Well, good morning. It's morning for me. JJ, you said think back about something that you are ashamed of and try to tell the story out loud. It's tough to do, and you definitely won't be bragging about it. Oh, NK, I did a candid story about me, and that was a very tough story to tell. You understand what I'm saying? That was very tough to tell. Sometimes you said the speakeasy, I was thinking about him too because Cruz didn't make a scene. As big and strong as he is, he froze up and because he was shocked and confused. Exactly. You said if it wasn't so bad, why is that live stream private? Exactly. Like, how come the live stream is private? Hashtag unprivate the live stream. If you didn't do anything wrong, and I don't, you know what? Listen, I don't give a fuck. I got a couple cousins that are attorneys. Okay, I don't give a fuck about that whole, because I actually talked to them about that when he said he was advised by counsel to private the video. And I had talked to them about that, and they said, well, the only reason that an attorney would advise you to do that is if there's something on there that would incriminate you, okay? Or that would further incriminate you. That's the only way that an attorney would actually advise their client to take down something or to remove something, is if that information would actually, there's something there that would actually incriminate that person. So yeah, that's if his attorney told him to remove that video, it's because there's something there that they saw that they said, yeah, this can be held against you in the court of law. JJ said, Nappy Yankee, it's not about details, LOL, bro. Go watch the video. It's 11 minutes. Yeah, it is. Sometimes you said, even a gigantic man might freeze up if he gets groped because for people who aren't predators, or gets groped because for people who aren't predators, that behavior is shocking and confusing to innocent people. Exactly. Like when you, like, if somebody just rub up against me, and that's happened to me before. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just rubbing up against you or somebody, doing something. You turn around, look at this motherfucker like, did you just do that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's shocking, and I couldn't imagine if this was happening with one of my friend's husbands. He would get fucked up. Okay. Like, listen, it would not be a problem for me to smack the shit out of her husband. Trust me. But I'm just saying, like, it's just amazing. Terry Crews is not a small guy, right? You said, has anyone considered he just lied and made it up? I think it would be even worse, whistleblower, if he did. I'll be honest with you. I'm honestly hoping it is a true story. Okay? Because if he made that shit up, that's even scarier. Because this is the kind of stuff that he thinks about. This is the kind of stuff that's in his mind. Okay? And that's scary. That's really scary if he's making that story up. You said CTV asked to see it and Binary refused to show it. Because he knew it would incriminate him. As if he claims his counsel is telling him that, that's the reason why. That's the reason why. I'm going to have one of my cousins come on. I'll see if one of my cousins can come on. She don't really do Neither one of them do social media. As a husband and wife, they don't do social media like that. But I'm gonna see if they can come on and talk about this, because they don't know binary. They don't have any stake in the game, and they are attorneys. So I'd love to have them on the show and see what they would say, or get an attorney's expert's opinion on that. You said, whistleblower, of all the stories to make up, why tell one that could get you in trouble? Exactly. Like all the stories he could have made up. Why that one? That's scary if he did. Sometimes you said, yes, people raise that possibility, and then we discussed how people explain abuse away and make up excuses for predators because they don't want to deal with it. Right. Especially in the Black community. We feel like, you know, predators are supposed to be protected for some reason. I don't understand. Nappy said, would you guys look at binary attacking KOM for disrespecting women on Jermaine's CCTV live stream, a come to Jesus moment to appease his critics? I don't really understand your question because I don't watch them. I don't watch Conscious TV. I don't watch any of that shit. So maybe you can ask that question again. You said, like, he was probably lying. He was probably exaggerating. It probably wasn't that bad. Flacco, you said, there's a few things with that story that a lot of us skip over. 90% of the women he shot in that manner gave him positive reinforcement, and he slept with them. He stopped when he was told to. Yeah, Flacco, we're going to get into that too. So we listened to the video again last night, okay? And shout out to Carrie Ann. And for those of you who didn't watch it, make sure that you check out Carrie Ann, and also you check out JJ. I'm going to put a link to both of their videos in my description box so you guys can take a look at it and look for yourselves. But I don't understand what you mean 90%, okay? Listen, at the end of the day, he went back and told you that part of it after he got the feedback he was getting on this, okay? He did not tell anybody that part of it in the video, that these women had gave him, that actually slept with him, and these women wanted to be with him and all this other stuff and this positive reinforcement. Stop the lies. Stop the lies, Flacco. That's not what he said, okay? He never said that these women were throwing your hand off of me is not positive reinforcement, okay? Doing a record scratch moment to stop the music moment, that is not positive reinforcement, okay? And he did not stop when he was told to. He went back and touched these women 3 different times during this party. He did not stop when he was told to, because he was never told to, okay? These women did not turn around and say, stop touching me, binary, and he stopped. That's not what happened. So again, we're clouding the story. We're adding consent. We're clouding what consent is for the sake of cult of personality, because you like this guy, okay? Because you like Stargate, and you like him, and you like the trolling, and you enjoy being around and hanging around and kiki and laugh. You would rather just cloud the story, pretend that this shit didn't happen, and put in what you want to make it appear the way you want it to be. And none of us are going to do that. So you're definitely on that island by yourself if that's the case. But yeah, 90% of the women he shot his shot in that manner gave him positive reinforcement is a lie. Okay? And if that's the case, it should have been 100% of the women, right? What you mean 90%? So the 10%, like, so the 10% didn't give consent. The 10%, forget about the 10%. As long as 90% of them were okay with it, then that makes it all right. So the 10%, fuck her. Fuck what happened to her. Fuck her feelings. Fuck the fact that she feels like she was molested, that she feels like this man actually abused her. Fuck that. As long as the other women are okay, it doesn't matter. The mindset, man. It's the mindset. Living life, you said, I don't stand for the rub up thing. Exactly. What you mean? You said Flacco is on here repeating binaries, lies, and talking points. And I feel like you're doing that because again, you're young. And I think you have a lot to learn. I think that you have a lot of life to live, and I think you have a lot more to experience. Okay. And you have not experienced certain things yet. There's certain things you haven't seen yet, and you don't have any children. You don't really have any stake in the game. So I understand from your perspective um, why you may not feel like it's predatory. Okay. But yeah, it's predatory, bro. We're not going to pretend. And you should stop being his spokesman because he makes you look bad. Clark says, sometimes I get carried away. Yes, I laugh when I first heard it because I've never met Terry Crews and I know how what a big guy he is. Right. Um, sometimes you said it took until the 100th time he twisted the story around to throw in that he slept with those women. Exactly. It was like well after he told the story. And then he started telling the story again. He started telling the story again a couple of times. And those couple of times is when he started adding something every time. Like he added that him and his wife were swingers. None of that came out in the first story. Then he added that, oh, well, they slept with me too. Two of the women slept with me, and then he added, more things. Like he started adding stuff to make stuff look good. Okay. Period. You said, and if the story is a lie, why is the video private? Exactly. And answer that though. I mean, if you want to be his spokesman, answer that for us. You said also this was in 1998. So what? Okay. What you mean? Oh my God. Judging his actions by today's standards isn't completely fair. He admitted he was a creep and owned up to it. The account from 1998 isn't an indictment on who he is today. I don't understand what you mean by that. And again, like I said, you're not you haven't really experienced much. So I don't know what you mean. Yeah, somebody doing something in 98 could be doing something the same shit today. Okay, I don't know. Somebody doing something in 1978, they could be still doing the same shit today. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, people are supposed to grow up, they're supposed to evolve, but it's clear that he hasn't, because he told that story with such glee and such happiness. Also, he's still predatory in his behavior today with how he treats women, how he treats black women, and so forth. So, and him admitting that he's a creep, so what? I don't care. I'm glad he admitted it, but that doesn't make it, oh, okay, well, you admitted it, so now I don't have to say anything else. Like, fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. You said he didn't make it up. It was made up. If it was made up, he would have said that already. Exactly. He definitely would have said that. I don't think he made it up. I really don't. I think this is a true story. I think he actually did that. Sometimes you said 2 out of 3 is a 90% now. And actually 0 women gave consent anyway. Exactly. Like, what you mean 90%? Like, we need to stop with the percentages. Poetic Flacco, bro, I was there in 98. It was not okay in 1998. Exactly. Like, what you mean? Oh, in 1998, you were allowed to touch the smaller people's backs. Nah, niggas was going to jail for that shit in 98 too. Like, I don't know what you mean. You said sometimes, but we are going off the fact that everything he said in those stories were 100% true. Right. So everything he said in that story was 100% true. Exactly. So he's a predator. Okay. I mean, I don't know. You said he never said he slept with those women until much later. You clearly have a hard time with math, so I'm going to ignore your questions about understanding 100%. Flacco, what? Is this what you do? Yeah. Flacco love him some binary code. Actually, he groped 3 women and claims 2 slept with him So technically, that's 66.6%. Let's get this math right. You said, I'm the original telling. I'm the original telling. He has his wife call them because he was afraid he would suffer consequences for his predation. Exactly. He knew he was going to say, he was afraid they were going to call the cops on him. So he had his wife talk to them. So if he didn't do anything wrong, why did he want the wife to talk to them? He said, whistleblower said, I was just done when he said he would shame his own daughter if someone touched her. Exactly. He said if it was his daughter and his daughter was a 29-year-old woman and she was touched by a 19-year-old boy, he would shame her. He would blame the daughter. He would blame his daughter. That's what he said. That's fucked up. That's sick. And he said it on Conscious TV. So, shout out to Conscious TV for having this bitch ass nigga on there. Poetic Flacco said, I wasn't in clubs in 1998, so I can't speak on that. But that man admitted he was a creep and wrong. We can't call him a sick. Listen, I'm not going to keep doing that, Flacco. If you don't want to call him a sick sexual predator, that's fine. But listen, people at the age of 19, which is an adult, okay, go to jail for being a sexual predator. They go to jail for much less, okay? There are younger people than 19, 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds who have done worse or who have done less and have gone to jail, okay, for such things. So we're not going to do this, oh, he's 42 now and he was 19 then. What do you mean? So you mean to tell me that when you was 19, you was going around touching chicks? Put a 1 in the chat for the men. If you were 19 years old and you were going around touching women to see if they wanted to have sex with you. You just went around, touched the small of their back and went around touching their thighs and all this other stuff. Put a 1 in the chat if you as a man did that. Okay, I really, really want to hear from that. Sometimes you said, yes, I can. Binary code is a predator. He should be on a registry. Exactly. He really should be. He really should. He should definitely not be working with children, special needs children. Binary came on Sunbear's channel and tried to make it seem like they were basically swinging. I don't know why he thought he was going to play that BS with my family like we stupid. Exactly. He did try that on Sunbear's channel. Just kept trying to change this whole story up. Like I said, he had changed that story so many times. It was crazy. JJ, you said, Poetic Flacco, I hear you, bro, but this was a house party, and these were women with their guards down at their friend's house. The way he told it shows his true character. It can't be unseen. Exactly. I don't care how much, you want to unsee it or you want to cape for this nigga. I don't really care. Yeah, well, I mean, Flacco, it would be nice if he actually had this character development in place, but he doesn't. We're not going to pretend that we haven't seen him be involved in the most fuck shit in this sector. He has done the most fuck shit in the sector. So we're not going to pretend that that's not the case. If you want to, that's fine. You said, does anyone here touch people to hit on them, or do you speak flirt with no touching? Exactly. I don't understand what you mean by, oh, he was 19, so it's okay. And, put a 1 in the chat if you niggas did that. So if time is a factor here, how did they manage to prosecute Cosby years later? Exactly. If it's time and, oh, well, it was 20 years ago, so, let it go. I want you to say that in a court of law about these rape victims. You said, then he is trying to make it seem like we didn't hear the whole video, so we don't understand the context. Exactly. We heard the video. We heard the context. We know exactly what's going on. And hey, TMK, I appreciate you being here today. Parklack says, thank you. Nappy Yankee says, if it's so bad, why is me and mine's crew caping for him? And more importantly, why is Griselda, as of yesterday, still rolling with them? I don't know. I don't give a fuck what they doing, for real. You said Nappy Yankee because he is giving them the validation they are thirsty for. That's a good answer. Clark said, Flacco, please stop. Show some respect for yourself. This would be a great start, respectfully. That's facts. And I really feel like you are defending him because you like him. I think that's, you like him. And I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't. If it wasn't for this, and it wasn't for all the predatory stuff, I've had some kikis and laughs with Binary. You can have fun with him, but I just can't see past what I've seen. And I'm not going to pretend because I don't have no stake in the game to care about his feelings. JJ said, Poetic Flacco, bro, allow me to condescend for a moment. As you get older, you may realize that time changes nothing. Change only comes from action. Exactly. You said, and centuries ago, men were marrying 12-year-olds. Does that make it right? Right, exactly. I said, what if somebody found out who his ex-wife was and interviewed that ex-wife? Honey, somebody get on the case because I want to go ahead and get with that chick. I definitely want to get with that chick. I definitely want to check that out. Definitely want to talk to her. Couch Potatoes, she said, stop it, T-Pre. I was at the Greek picnic in 98. 2022 is way different. Oh man, you know about the Greek picnic. We ain't gonna talk about that. Clark said, Flacco, I have said this before. I have experienced unwanted touching. It is not nice, and it was not cute, and it was not compliments. So get the fuck out of here. Yeah, women, when we experience those kinds of things, we're not comfortable. Okay. And I don't know. And Flacco, like I said, you don't have any daughters, you don't have any kids. So therefore, probably would be difficult for you to really grasp that. Okay. But women do not want to be touched unwantedly. Okay. If you want to get to know me, if you want to be with me, hang out with me and stuff, there's ways to do that without trying to touch me unwittingly. You can do that without touching me. Okay. Yeah, and it wasn't cool at all. So, we have to stop pretending that it's okay for men to just be touching women when they don't want to be touched. As you said, hold on, you said, it's eye-opening when men expose themselves through their thought processes, making excuses, simple exposing their behavior in the 90s. Exactly. Definitely. TMK said, Nappy Yankee, my point was, it is that time was not consideration. They charged him regardless. Exactly. Tina, Binary Code put this information out, so he should be quiet, and you should too. Tina, if Tina's in here, delete her. I don't fuck with Tina. I don't like Tina. She know that, or he know that, or it know that. So yeah, get rid of her. One of y'all go ahead and block Tina, please. Living life to the fullest. Who do you think Tina is that Tina Troll came around when Smoke's page was deleted? Oh, I know who Tina is. There's two Tinas. There's a couple Tinas. There's a fake one and there's a real one. I know who the real one is because I've seen that one interact in other sectors. But this Tina is a fake Tina. And this one came over here around the time. When did this? I don't remember, but this Tina came over here not that long ago. But yeah, somebody blocked that bitch because she don't have space in my chat to talk. JJ said, Clark, that was one of the things that pissed me off about it. He had no concern for people that may have been through that. His channel was full of women too. Yeah, black women at that. In other words, keep your motherfucking hands to yourself. Understand? Facts. Keep your motherfucking hands to yourself. Facts. Yeah, the Greek was a sexual assault party. This is damn shade. Damn shade. Yeah, I think Tina is Rev G. Nah, it's not. Unless Rev G is doing some savvy shit. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the show now. I do appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. But yeah, I just wanted to get into that today because it's just ridiculous, that we're out here diagnosing this man, and saying that he's not this and he's not that, and everybody needs to, I really think it's very dangerous, guys, to be blurring the lines of consent and saying, this is consent and this isn't consent and this kind of thing, because now you're giving sexual predators the leeway to continue with their bullshit, okay? Instead of calling things what it is. As a professional therapist, I really think it's important that you're actually practicing that, okay? Because if you're not, and if this is how you're diagnosing patients, and if this is how you're treating sexual predatory behavior, I am fearful for these patients. I'm fearful for them. I'm fearful that that they're for their, not only for the patients, but for their victims. I am so fearful for their victims if you are positively reinforcing this type of behavior. That is a problem. That is a big problem. And I hope that's not the case. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I really appreciate you guys being in the building, and peace. Thank you guys for watching.
Let's make a home.